Alright guys, so welcome back to Basin Motorsports. Now, last week, remember I said I was going out of town, going to Portland to become a rapper. Now, not the scratching vinyl kind of rapper, but more like scratching that kind of vinyl rapper. A car rapper. So, I took a few days off from the garage and everything else, took a couple vacation days, so I drove to Portland last Thursday and took a class Friday, Saturday at PDX Wraps. Now, this is one of probably one of the biggest ones in Portland for wrapping, and I was told they're probably in the top 3 for most diverse vinyl application shops in the country. I gotta tell you, after being there for 2 days, I was really impressed with the guys there and the setup. Really a clean shop, very professional, and very well set up. I will agree. Having never been to others in the industry, if they're in the top 3, wow, they really set the standard. So let me go over kind of how the class went. So day 1 is pretty simple. It starts out kind of the basic pieces. Now, Justin Pate is the instructor, at least the one I took with, and if you don't know anything about Justin, you can do some YouTube search, Google, etc. Basically, Justin is very international. He lives, I believe, in the Netherlands, comes back to the U.S., born in Idaho, went to school in the Pacific Northwest, and now he kind of travels the world teaching vinyl wrapping. Very diverse in his knowledge, and man, he blew me away with all the information he had available to us. So day 1 starts out pretty much a little bit of a PowerPoint, just kind of talking about the vinyl industry, some of the materials you can get into, and then you go right into wrapping a window. So windows, walls, and floors are kind of the basics of it because they're flat. They're pretty simple. There's no curves to deal with usually. And so you kind of go into pieces before lunch is wrapping a window, like window film. Go into wrapping a textured wall, like you're doing something interior of a room. And then you go into doing floors. Now we did a concrete floor with one, and it lasted all week for us driving cars across it and walking across it. So very good stuff. I'm actually thinking in my mind now what I can wrap in my shop, whether I do the floor or maybe the back doors itself or the roll-up doors. A lot of stuff out there. I've now got to do some research of what I can do. So after lunch on day 1, you go into starting wrapping vinyl on an actual car. Now you start doing the easy stuff, which is kind of like the roof, the hood, the trunk, kind of the minimum stuff that you would get involved with that's pretty easy to do because it's large, it's flat, it's pretty forgiving. If you remember back, I did the vinyl on WideFox on all the trim. So rear window, front windshield, and I did the side trim around the door and the windows itself. I'll put a link up above to one of those videos so you can kind of check it out if you've never seen those from about a year ago. Now, a lot of things I learned through the mistakes of doing that were kind of learned the hard way. I ended up running short of material. I had to piece together one of the trim pieces. It kind of came out okay. I won't say great, but I had to learn the hard way, and the mistakes I learned basically wasted material. So on day 1, we started wrapping. We had 3 cars available. They actually had a van also that was there that was part of a job that PDX Wraps was doing, and it gave us a little bit more opportunity to something diverse. So we had like a Nissan Maxima brand new. We had a Ford Econoline van, which had no windows, thankfully. Makes it a lot easier. I think we had a Chevy Impala, and then we had some kind of an SUV. I think it was like a, I don't know. It was some kind of Chevy SUV. So day 2, really, you kind of get down to the brass tacks of it. You get a lot of vinyl to experiment with on the roof, on the doors, on the hood, etc. And the great thing about it is the material is part of the class, and when you make a mistake, it's okay. You strip it off, you toss it, you throw it away. You learn from the mistake, and you move on. Now, I will admit, I made a lot of mistakes. Some of the stuff I was doing the same as I did on the trim, which turned out okay, good enough. And the great thing about it was there were people in the class that had experience up to like 10 cars where I was done just some trim stuff. So I was able to kind of talk with some other students, partner with them, allow them to teach me. And when all else fails that you didn't get it, you called over Justin or a couple guys from PDX Wraps would come over, give you some insight, show you some stuff, let you do it, let you experiment, and it really helped me get my mind around how to do vinyl. So you come into day 2, and it goes right into vinyl wrapping again. So some of the other stuff you go into, you get away from the big surfaces, you go into things like mirrors, which are really curved and complex. How to piece those together, either and do it in one piece or two piece. You go into like spoilers, you go into pieces around trim, how to do door handles. All this stuff is very small, but very detailed. And it just blew my mind at how to try to get this stuff together. The Fox is relatively pretty simple, thankfully, other than you'll have to probably piece in the roof to the pillars. So at the end of day 2, you kind of go through, you get all the way through it all. You do a little bit more PowerPoint, you have some discussion on how to do it professionally. And I went in there just because I wanted to wrap WideFox. That was always my goal to take the class. So one of the cool tools you get from Avery-Dennison, obviously, is this nice worst pouch. Now this is something, basically, it's got a snap buckle, goes together, holds all your stuff, really nice piece. I'm going to use this when I wrap WideFox. Now it does come with 2 really heavy duty magnets, which is obviously holding this vinyl up to WideFox itself. Another one is this nice both sides piece, and it's really kind of like Justin's system of how you wrap stuff. So you've got 2 options. You've got a color change, which will be what WideFox will be. It is not really a rolling billboard necessarily like this. It's a pattern that goes across the car, but it will be a uniform color. Every panel will be changed. Now, if it comes to that, they call it full print, which is just like this. It's literally a full print, like a rolling billboard, and slightly different wrapping techniques on the finishing, but otherwise, it's pretty same. Now, you do get a glove, which is really cool in that it's same. It's like dual-sided, so if you're right-handed, it can do this, and now it will work a smartphone if you've got it, but it's also not going to tear the vinyl. Same thing. Put it on the left. Same stuff both sides, which is really great. Good on the fingertips, nice and soft. Won't tear the vinyl, won't scratch the vinyl, but it's enough to work basically all day if you need to. Now you do get some squeegees, obviously pretty simple. They do have a covering on them that's replaceable, which is awesome. This is a piece for the razor blades. You put it in, snap it in there, and then you can also keep spare blades in there also, which is awesome. You just keep that in your pocket, snap it off, fresh blade itself. Now you get 2 of these, I won't say disposable razor blades, but these are ones that slide out, snap them off to get a fresh blade. You get 2 of these. One is Avery-Dennison brand, and another one is a Japanese brand that Justin recommends. This stuff is invaluable. The great thing about it is that you take all these tools away from the class. They're part of it. And these are actually what pros use. So for me, I'm going to try one car and see how it goes, and maybe I turn it into a business. But this is stuff the pros use, and it comes with it, what everybody recommends. So really nice coming away with some tools, especially the knowledge. And one of the great things was I got some vinyl. This is free vinyl. This is the same material other than it's printed. This is the same material that WideFox will be wrapped with. So it's obviously being held up with magnets, but I'm going to practice on WideFox once I get it sanded down and prepped. And I'm going to wrap the side of the car with this design, and I'll do that for you guys as practice, showing you how I'm going to wrap WideFox, and I'm going to do a complete playlist out there of how to wrap a Fox body in general, and then I'll show you the practice and some of the mistakes, talk you through that, guys. So if you guys want to wrap your own Fox body in the future, I'm going to give you all the details and secrets I took away from the class, because I was able to ask a lot of specific questions of how to deal with fiberglass, how to deal with metal, how to do transitions from the roof to the pillar, because all of that is specific to a Fox body, and it's going to make it a little challenging. Now, the last piece is obviously with that vinyl, I got some extra stuff. Now, this is window perforation, so you can kind of see through it, but I'm going to tinker with this just on the car itself, just to wrap windows, just to do a little something different. It'll be great. So now comes the big question that everybody's going to ask. Was the $800 price tag for this 2-day seminar worth it, in my opinion? I will simply answer, hell yeah. So I come out with tools, came out with extra vinyl, and I got a roll ordered that comes standard with the class. You get some options, but I ordered a roll of vinyl that will do complete WideFox. All of that is probably valued at street value at over 800 bucks. So I could have spent $800 on materials and tools with no knowledge, or I spent $800 to get the knowledge and they threw in the material and tools at the same time. Why I say it's worth it, obviously, is because you take away stuff that's worth that value, but the knowledge I gained in 2 days and just the teamwork and partnering with that is really invaluable. The class itself is set up to be an introduction and to kind of get your fingertips wet, I guess you call it, and to give you strategy and a system of how to wrap a car. Now, most of the people else in the class were truly there to learn either for an existing business they work for, or they were doing their own business or starting a new business. Me, I was honestly there because I could afford to do it and I wanted to wrap my own car. But after coming out of the class, I see the opportunity out there available, at least in my local area, because there really isn't going to be anybody else to compete with me. And the second piece was the application of doing this is immense, truly immense. There is nothing that you cannot wrap somehow, some way. So it kind of opened up my eyes and my mind of doing it. So there's my opinion on doing the Avery-Dennison Basic Intermediate class. Definitely worth the price point. I'm looking at doing the advanced class once I get at least WideFox wrapped, and I've got some other people interested that I'm going to wrap for them. I think I want to do the advanced class. I'm not sure if I want to be certified, which is an additional training class and piece. But I'll tell you what, it was awesome for 2 days just to go do that, focus on learning some new skills that I didn't have, and I can definitely see it's going to pay off when I wrap WideFox. It's going to blow my mind to see this car in one color, and I think it's going to do the same for you guys. So that's it. If you have a chance to sign up for the class, you want to do it, do it. It's worth the money, I promise. So that's it for this time, guys. Next time you see this car, I will be vinyl wrapping it in this pretty lady, and we'll see you next time.